जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी 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 नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Canto 11, Chapter 5, chapter entitled Narada's Teachings to Vasudeva. Text 49. And repeat after me. Mapatya buddhim akrithaha Krishne sarvatmanishvare Maya manushya bhavena Gudeshwarye parevyaye मापत्य बुद्धिम अकृथा कृष्णे सर्वात्मनीश्वरे माया मनुष्य भावेन गूढ़ैश्वर्ये परेव्यये मापत्य बुद्धिम अकृथा कृष्णे सर्वात्मनीश्वरे माया मनुष्य भावेन गूढ़ैश्वर्ये परेव्यये मापत्य बुद्धिमाकृता। Ma patya buddhi ma krita. Shivari. Ma manushya bhavena. Godeshwarye parevye. What forward meaning? Ma, do not. Apatya buddhim, the idea of being your son. Akritaha, impose. Krishna, on Krishna. Sarvatmani, the supreme soul of all. Ishvare, the personality of Godhead. Maya, by his power of illusion. Manushya bhavena, appearing as if an ordinary person. Gudha Ishwarye, hiding his opulence. Pare, the supreme. Avyaye, infallible. Translation purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: do not think of Krishna as an ordinary child, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, inexhaustible and the soul of all beings. The Lord has concealed his inconceivable opulences and is thus outwardly appearing to be an ordinary human being. Purport: Lord Shri Krishna is the original source of all plenary incarnations of the Absolute Truth. Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. His unlimited transcendental opulences are inexhaustible, and thus he very easily brings the entire creation under his personal control. Lord Krishna is the eternal well-wisher of all living entities, so there was no need for Vasudeva to be anxious about his future destination, nor that of the other personal associates of Krishna, such as the members of the Yadu dynasty. In verse 46 of this chapter, Narad Muni told Vasudeva, Putratam agamad yadvam bhagavan ishvaro hari. You and your good wife are now glorified throughout the universe because Lord Krishna has personally become your son. In this way, Narada is encouraging Vasudeva to continue to love Krishna as his most beloved son, for such ecstatic devotional feelings are never to be given up. At the same time, Narada is removing Vasudeva's doubts about the future by assuring him, due to your love for Krishna, you may think that he is an ordinary human being. You are appearing like a human being, and Lord Krishna is simply reciprocating with you. In order to encourage you to love him as your son, he is placing himself under your control, and thus his inconceivable power and opulences are being concealed from you. Don't assume, however, that there is actually a dangerous situation because of the events of the material world. Although Krishna appears to be under your control, he is eternally the supreme controller. Therefore, do not consider him to be a human being. He is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Maya in this verse indicates that Krishna's Manushya or human-like activities are actually misleading to the ordinary man, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya also means transcendental potencies. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya, the Lord descends in his own transcendental form filled with transcendental potencies. And thus the words Maya, Manushya, Bhavena here also indicate Krishna's original transcendental form, which resembles the human-like forms experienced in this world. Maya also indicates mercy or compassion according to the Sanskrit dictionary, and thus the Lord's incarnation is understood to be his causeless mercy upon the conditioned souls. The Lord's descent is also his causeless mercy upon the liberated souls who take immense pleasure in joining the Lord in his pastimes and chanting and hearing about such exalted spiritual activities, Smaranam Kartanam Vishnu. In order to reciprocate the love of Vasudeva for him, Krishna mostly concealed his unlimited opulences. In this way, the devotee is fully encouraged in his particular loving relationship with the Lord. However, when Vasudeva was filled with anxiety due to the dangerous situation created by the Brahmana's curse, Narada immediately reminded him that such anxiety was unnecessary, because all these events were under direct control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, the Vaishnava Paramhamsas who take the position of the Lord's parents remain under the shelter of the Lord at all times and never deviate from the loving devotional service of the Lord. They remain fixed in transcendence in all circumstances, unlike ordinary parents of the material world who are constantly becoming bewildered by illusion due to bodily conception of life. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णकरुणासिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So we are in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam wherein Narad Muni is conversing with Vasudev and he is comforting him. He is comforting the father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that don't worry, you are on the right path. You are loving Krishna. You are having some anxiety for him, that is all right. And Vasudev also felt that his love for Krishna should increase more and more. So even pure devotees have got this feeling in their heart that they never really sufficiently love Krishna. And therefore when Uddhava also went to Vrindavan, he felt that he loved Krishna very much and he could give the message of Krishna to the gopis and to his parents. But when he stayed there for 2 months, when he associated with gopis, when he associated with Nanda and Yashoda, he understood that he doesn't possess even a drop of that love. And finally, he becomes the beggar of that love. And while returning, while he is going back to Dwaraka, Nanda is telling him that please bless us so that our minds may be fixed on Krishna. Nanda and Yashoda are asking these blessings from Uddhava. So no matter how much a devotee progresses in his or her spiritual life, they always feel that whatever I am doing is less. Therefore we find our acharyas like Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Now someone may ask that how can these acharyas write these kinds of songs? Amar jivan sada paperata nahi ko punyera lesha. So one time I was hearing, a pure devotee, a conditioned soul's scale, a scale of his anarthas, maybe in miles. If 10 miles of anarthas, that many anarthas are there, I feel it is not much. But for a pure devotee, even if 1 nanometer, even if 1 split second, they forget Krishna, they feel it is a very big thing. My life is useless. And therefore 11th canto again, 2nd chapter, I guess it is verse number 53. It describes that pure devotees of the Supreme Lord, they cannot even give half a moment in forgetfulness of Krishna in exchange of the entire heavenly abode. And then someone may ask, what is the problem? If half a moment they give up for remembering Krishna and they'll get the entire heavenly enjoyment. They said the point is they cannot forget Krishna only. It is not possible for them. So Vasudev here is in his perfected stage where he is remembering Krishna, and Narad is urging him that go ahead, you are right, you are right on your path, just go ahead. And for conditioned souls, for sadhakas, for practitioners of devotional life, we always have that tug of war. Maya is there, Krishna is there. It is said that even at the last point of our life, 1 year Maya will be there and 1 year Krishna will speak, and then we have to choose whom we hear. And at our current stage also, it is very difficult to develop that love for Krishna. Because although Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabuna Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Uday, although it is natural for every living entity to love Krishna, but because we have forgotten him since time immemorial, and because of so many anarthas, like Prabhupada writes in the purport of 1 to 17, Shrunotam Sakatha Krishna, he says that to become restless in the contact of wealth and woman or material things is very natural for the conditioned soul, because we have been accustomed to such memories from time immemorial. But when we start hearing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when that Shravana comes in, then we realize our original nature, and then soul can come to the original stage of loving Krishna. So for the pure devotees, the difficulty is forgetting Krishna. And for conditioned souls, the difficulty is in remembering Krishna. Like gopis are saying in their song, Chitta kadito ma hoite vishaya chahila gaite yatna kari nari kadi bare. They are saying that we are trying to remove you from our consciousness, and we are trying to put sense gratification in our consciousness. But even after repeated trying, we are not able to do so. But for a conditioned souls is different. No matter how much you try to inject Krishna, Krishna somehow gets removed. And therefore, there is this book called as Broken Names, written by His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. And he writes in that book how to bind Krishna. How to bind Krishna. So he says that hearing, when we hear, it is like binding Krishna with let's say some cotton chains made up of cotton. They say after some time Krishna will leave. And say, what about Smaran? His Smaran is also good, but then it does not remain fixed. Then he gives another chain for that. Okay, but this also Krishna will remove. But he says the mind can be bound, or Krishna can be bound in the mind by the chain of kirtan. It becomes a very solid iron chain, by which if we bind Krishna, then Krishna never leaves the heart. And therefore all our acharyas, they gave priority to kirtan more than even smaran. And therefore Srila Saraswati Thakur would say, Kirtana prabhave smarana hoibe. Smaran can happen by the power of kirtan. Although the ultimate goal is smartavya satam Vishnu vismartavyo na jatuchit, remembering Krishna and never forgetting Krishna. But that goal can be very easily realized when we do kirtan for Krishna. So it may be, now we are having whole day Sankirtan, whole day Kirtan festival. So kirtan is Nama Kirtan, Leela Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, any kind of kirtan. But that kirtan has the power to bind Krishna. And therefore when we are hearing, it is very important that we speak it also sometimes. We share it sometimes. Maybe with one devotee, with two devotees. It is not necessary that we are on a Vyasasana. It is not necessary that we have to have an official ground for speaking Krishna Katha. But some kind of effort has to be made in this. So this is one way in which we can go ahead in developing our attachment to Krishna. Another way the second way in which we can go forward in developing our attachment to Krishna. Rupa Goswami gives a very nice analogy. He says, Yuvatinam yatha yuni, yunam cha yuvato yatha, manobhiradam ramate tadvan, manome ramatam tvai. He says, just as young boy is attached to a young girl, and young girls are attached to young boys, let my mind be attached to you in that way. Generally, when a boy is attached to a girl, or a girl is attached to a boy, and the only thing which is there in the minds of both of them is each other. While sleeping, while eating, while yesterday Navan Krishna was talking about Arjuna and Krishna. So Arjuna and Krishna were together while sleeping, eating, and they all would be, they both would be kind of remembering each other. But for a boy and a girl, those are loving each other, it is the only thing that consumes their minds. So, if it is possible for any object in this world, can it not be possible for Krishna? It can be very easily possible with Krishna, because you see, in material world, the attachment, Kapil Dev is saying this, na tathasya bhaven moho bhaveschanya prasangata yoshit sanga yatha pumsam tata tat sangi sangita. The bondage and attachment which a man can accrue, it can be at the highest degree when it is towards a woman, he says like that. And it is not as complete as in any other form. It is perfectly complete in that form. So that is the conditioned stage. But when we go to the liberated stage, the same attachment, the eyes, like our Ambarish Maharaj, he attained that perfection because he used every one of his senses in remembering Krishna. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor Bachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanuvarnane Karau Harer Mandiramarjanadishu Shrutim Chakara Chudasat. He engaged his eyes in seeing Krishna. He engaged his ears in hearing about Krishna. He engaged his tongue in describing Krishna's glories. He engaged his bodily touch in embracing devotees. And that's how he perfected his life. So for every sense, that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness, for every of our senses we have got something in Krishna consciousness. And if we talk about the Gyanis, they have to negate their senses with no higher ambition, with no higher taste. But for us, to develop that higher taste becomes very easy when we come in contact with any object of Krishna consciousness. So that is one way in which, that is another way actually, the second way in which we can develop our love and attraction for Krishna. The third way in which we can develop our love and attraction for Krishna is by trying to develop love and attraction for any of the processes by which we can love Krishna. Any of the processes, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Padasevanam, any of the processes. We just develop interest for that and keep on doing that. And of the 64 limbs which are given by Srila Rupa Goswami, Sadhu Sangha, Mathura Vasa, one is association of devotees, next is deity worship, then there is holy name, then there is Srimad Bhagavatam, and what else? Staying in Mathura. So these 5 things are there. So he says, Chaitanya Charitamrita says that even a Alpa Sangha, even a very short association with any of these 5 limbs can help us go very fast in our devotional life. So if at all we want to develop love for Krishna, if we try to develop love for any of these 5 aspects, any one of these 5 aspects, either association or Srimad Bhagavatam or deity worship or studying Srimad Bhagavatam or staying in Mathura. Not that we just keep on going to Mathura, but but attraction for holy places, something like that. So if we try to develop love for these processes, any one of these processes, then very quickly we can attain love for Krishna. This is another way, third way, which we can develop love for Krishna. And another way, the fourth way in which we can develop love for Krishna. For us at the conditioned stage right now, Krishna is very far away. And we may see the deities every day, but then they may not get fixed in our minds. So in a conditioned stage, it becomes very easy to recognize the Chinmaya form of the Lord, the transcendental form of the Lord. And this stage, it becomes very important that we start loving devotees. If we love devotees, then we can automatically develop love for Krishna. Jesus would say this, if you cannot love whom you can see, how can you love God whom you cannot see? So when we start developing love for devotees, genuine love for devotees, then Krishna says, oh, this person has got love for my devotees, let me now give him my love also. And actually our spiritual life begins with developing love for devotees or some attraction for devotees. It does not begin by straight away developing love for Krishna. Oh, I was looking for Krishna. I got so attracted to that blue boy. No, it doesn't happen generally like that. It happens that a devotee gave us some book, or maybe came in contact with a devotee, and a devotee behaved very nicely with us. So we get attracted by that. The same attraction has to continue. Like as we go ahead, it should not happen that familiarity breeds contempt, because of which the very people who brought us in Krishna consciousness, we start feeling antagonistic towards them. It may happen due to some reason, but then generally we have to avoid all the things that can make us reluctant to associate with devotees, and take that association, because through that association only, Muchukunda Maharaj is praying this, Bhavapa Vargo Brahmato Yatha Bhave Janasi Tarhi Achyuta Satsamagamaha Satsangamo Yarhi Tadaiva Sadgato Paravareshe Tvai Jayate Matihi. He says that when one's material life is almost over, he obtains the association of devotees. And then after he comes in association, Shraddha Paravareshe Tvai Jayate Rati, he attains total love for Krishna. Now somebody may ask, first, does material existence stop, or first association of devotees should be there? What should be there first? First association has to be there. But then this verse describes the opposite. It says that when a living entity's wandering life has been ceased, then he obtains the association. So Jiva Goswami writes in his commentary that this is such a fast process that the result is mentioned earlier before the cause, out of enthusiasm. So the result is material life becoming totally nullified, and the cause is association, but the result is mentioned before, because it happens so quickly. So that is the beauty of association of devotees. And that is another way we can develop love for Krishna. Fourth way, and maybe the fifth way, another last way in which we can develop love for Krishna, is when we take inspiration from the lives of our acharyas. One devotee was once mentioning to me, anytime you feel low in your spiritual life, just read or hear about the lives of our acharyas, what they have done, and then all the despondency, all the dissatisfaction, all kinds of inabilities will go away from the mind. Because the lives of acharyas itself, they are so inspiring. Each one of them, what all they underwent. If we see Narottam Das Thakur, if you talk about Rupa Goswami, what all they gave up for Krishna, and what all they gave for Krishna, both the things. So that is very inspiring. So these are some ways in which we can develop love for Krishna. So this is one thing which is mentioned in this particular purport. Another thing what is mentioned in here is about Krishna's human-like pastimes, which are very charming to the hearts of the devotees. So actually, of all the pastimes of Krishna, Krishna's human pastimes are considered to be the topmost. Krishnera yateka khela sarvottama naralila tahara swarupa. So naralila is the topmost, because in these pastimes Krishna exhibited the highest mercy, the highest magnanimity, and the highest compassion, and the highest rasas were revealed in Krishna's human-like pastimes. And even Vidura goes to such an extent that he says that the form in which Krishna appeared, it was such a beautiful form, just suitable for his pastimes. Yan martya lila upaikam so yoga maya balam darshayita grahitam vismapanam swasya saubagarde. His form was so beautiful that even Lord Vishnu got bewildered, even Lord Vishnu got attracted to him. And therefore we find in Krishna Leela how Mahavishnu stole Brahmana's sons repeatedly. And finally Krishna had to go with Arjuna. This is a long story, but Krishna went with Arjuna to Mahavishnu's abode. And Mahavishnu said that I just wanted to have your darshan, and therefore I stole as told the Brahmanas' children. So that is the beauty of Krishna. Therefore, among all Vishnu forms also, Krishna's beauty cannot be compared to anything or anyone else. It is the topmost beauty in the entire creation. Therefore, the Mathura Vasis are glorifying this. Gopya ki macharad amushya venum damodara duras. No, not this verse. Gopya tapak ki macharad. No, this is Venu Gita. I'm forgetting the verse, but he says, Lavanya saram asamordhu mananya siddhim drigbip pibanti anusavabhinaram durapam ekanta dhama yashashri aiswarasya. So he says that Krishna's form is the essence of all loveliness. If you take all the beautiful objects, sarva saundara sangraham, if you take all beautiful objects of this world, take all of them together, combine all of them, Krishna's beauty is much more than that. That is the beauty of Krishna. And when Krishna appears in such a form, see, he performs Guda pastime. Here this word comes, Guda Aishwarya. And even Bhishma Dev says that, Gudascharati Vrishneshu. He says that Krishna performed his pastimes masked as a human being. So Krishna is extraordinary, but he masks himself to become ordinary. That is what is Krishna's Leela. And a conditioned soul's Leela is, a conditioned soul is very ordinary, but he masks himself as very extraordinary. He or she thinks that, no, I am very great. I want to show to others how great I am. And there was this personality named Poundrak, who was ordinary, but he masked himself as extraordinary. And he sent a letter to Krishna, that Krishna, I am the original Vasudev. Please return my chakra and my gada which you have taken. And when the messenger came to Krishna's assembly, Ugrasen, Uddhava, and all of them were there, and they started laughing. Leah started laughing loudly. And the messenger said, please forgive me, I am just a messenger. I have just come to get that message. And then Krishna says, yes, don't worry. I will give him the chakra, but I will not give to him. I will use that chakra on him. And when Krishna first saw Vasudev, this Poundrak Vasudev, he was so mesmerized in the sense he was so surprised. He had put on 2 extra hands. He had got some benediction from Lord Shiva and got 2 extra hands. He was just trying to look like Krishna, and with a mukut, with a peacock feather. And Krishna in the battlefield could not help laughing. He said, what is this? He is like exactly wanting to be like me. But Krishna took his intent and then finally gave him Sarupya Mukti. He killed him, not killed in one sense, but liberated him and gave him Sarupya Mukti. But actually in our life also, a living entity, a sadhaka has to check that, am I trying to be Krishna or am I trying to serve Krishna? Because the conception of impersonalism can come very easily. Even though we are devotees, but then the conception of impersonalism should not enter us. And the conception of impersonalism can enter when we try to take the role of a master. And whenever we try to do that, the first thing that happens is we ourselves become dissatisfied. Second thing what happens is other people who take our association, they become dissatisfied. And then third thing what happens is we cannot render the service in a proper mood. So advancement also does not happen. But when we come in the mood of a servant, then that mood of servant is so wonderful, because that is our original position. Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. And in that position, a living entity can realize his original identity, his original position. And when we deal in that manner, then we can progress in our spiritual life in a better way. So that conception of impersonalism has to be avoided in our journey of Krishna consciousness. And rather than masking ourselves as something extraordinary, we can remove those masks and appear fully naked in front of Krishna. Actually, Krishna wants that. Hanuman, he took the role. When he first met Lord Ram, he came in the vesh of a Brahmana. And actually he could not recognize Lord Ram, his eternal master. And Ram also did not show his, that he knew Hanuman. But then Hanuman, when he removed his mask, when he showed his original form, he could understand who the Lord was, and Lord also showered on him his total mercy. So therefore, Rupa Goswami says this, Mat tulyo nasti papatma na aparadhi cha kashyana. There is no person who is more fallen than me. There is no person who is a greater offender than me. Parihare pi lajja mein kim bruve purushottama. My dear Lord, I am feeling very much ashamed to come in front of you. What should I say about myself? I am a very fallen person, but please accept me. So that is what Rupa Goswami is saying. So when we repeat those prayers of our acharyas, when they are talking about not their condition but actually our condition, then when that unmasking happens, then Krishna says, okay, now you have not worn your layers of ahankar, now I will remove your ahankar. But when we go in front of the Lord with ahankar, Daksha went in front of Lord Shiva with his ahankar, his head got cut off. Romaharshana Sutta went in front of Lord Balaram with ahankar, his head also got cut off. So when we go in front of Lord with ahankar, Lord may not cut off our heads, but Lord may understand that he or she has got no head. And then Lord will say, okay, first you get some brains, then I will shower you mercy. So it is very important for us to develop that mood in order to mood of unmasking ourselves, to be without any pretension. And that is what word Bhagavatam also says, nirvyalikam. Nirvyalikam means without pretension. Lord can be very easily attained by a person who is without any pretentious show, who does not show something else and is something else. Lord does not like this. Even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 3.6 that such a person is pretender, one who thinks of sense objects in the mind but externally shows that, oh, I am a very great person. Not that we start telling our anathas to, we start posting our anathas on common WhatsApp channels, not like that. But then we have to understand. We have to understand where do we belong. We need to understand our own frailties, our own inefficiencies, and we open ourselves. When we open ourselves in front of Krishna, then Krishna, he removes those anarthas. Duryodhan, when he was told by Gandhari that please come to me, please come unmasked in front of me, I will give you entire iron body. And then Krishna came in front. Krishna said, oh, what is this? You are going naked. You are such a big, you have become such a big boy now. You are going naked in front of your mother. Does that suit you? And then Duryodhan said, no, my mother said to me like that. At least wear something here on your thighs, on your private parts. And he wore something. And when Gandhari opened her eyes, the entire body became iron, like just leaving the thighs and that part. And then Bhima hit there only. So in the same manner, in our life, whichever place we are not masking ourselves, whichever place we hide, Krishna will try to hit that point only. Again and again. And then finally Krishna will say, you unmask yourself, then only I will make you iron-like. You unmask yourself, then only I will remove. Then I will remove your anarthas. But then if we are attached to them, then it becomes very difficult. Then the journey to progress becomes very difficult. So therefore it is said that Krishna consciousness is simple. But we have to become simple. We have to approach Krishna simply. We have to approach devotees simply. We have to approach spiritual masters simply. And then we can attain the perfection of our life. So these are some thoughts. Any comments or reflections?
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. As you said, like 5 things to awaken the love of Godhead. Okay. And also in the purport it says that Vasudeva was thinking that it is easy to become away from the Krishna and the process, because he has seen that his entire Yadu dynasty was cursed. So he has that seriousness. Yes, of course, in the Krishna consciousness, sometimes we become complacency and sometimes we may not take seriousness, and we do it as a casual. Is it important to have more seriousness than Krishna himself, or sometimes is it more caution of Maya, which is the how to weigh the way of balance? Krishna's seriousness is more important, or Maya's seriousness is more important?
Actually, both are important. Like you said, we have to be cautious of Maya and conscious of Krishna. We don't have to be conscious of Maya all the time, because then how will we become Krishna conscious? And in our scriptures, see, the process is not of detachment first. The process is of attachment to Krishna first. And by that attachment to Krishna, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashu Vairagam Jnanam Chaya Dhahitukam. By that attachment, detachment naturally comes. And all artificial means of detaching ourselves from Maya, somehow or other they are bound to fail. So that is one thing we need to understand. So to the degree we try to go closer to Krishna, to that degree the effect of Maya will vanish. Maya Gunamai Rajan Swapnavat Pattaliyata. Regarding Rantidev, it is said, Kurvato Ananya Radhasa. He was Ananya Bhakta. Ananya means what? He had no other engagement than Krishna. So we have a lot of engagements apart from Krishna. And therefore idle mind, it becomes devil's workshop, as they say. Very nice proverb, workshop. In workshop you do a lot of things. So similarly, idle mind, there's a lot of creativity in that idle mind. So Maya, she just needs some time from us. And if we give her a little bit of time, even 1 moment, she will make an entire day out of it. Okay, you give me 1 moment now, I will expand it to my whole day. Or even 1 week, or even 1 month, or even 1 year, or the whole life as well. And therefore, there are some personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam, those who later lament, hey, what did I do? Like Yati Maharaj is saying, Evam Varsha Sahasrani Manas Shashthir Manas Sukham. What was this? I just wasted thousands of years in sense gratification. I did not realize it. So he was not cautious of Maya, nor he was conscious of Krishna. Anyways, but yeah, when we try to go ahead in Krishna consciousness, a devotee is simultaneously aware of his goal, and he is also aware of the challenges which may come in his or her life, and try to avoid those challenges. So it is a combination, but more so we have to try to plan for Krishna. See, like if you plan a day, we don't plan that how do I not get into Maya? Oh, I will not go this Maya zone I will not go, this Maya zone I will not go. No, we won't plan that way. But how will we plan? Okay, I will, today's Ekadashi, I will chant more. Okay, I will hear more. Okay, I will read more. So we are planning also positively. So acting also has to be positive. And then naturally, Maya, the thoughts of Maya will subside. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you.
Shri Vallabh Prabhu can answer this one question.
Oh, okay. Hello. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, I was just, Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is for those who are non-envious and to those who are materially exhausted. We have people coming here that have been coming here like for over 50 years, and they're still eating meat.
And still eating.
They're still eating meat, and they're still doing all kinds of nonsense. So it's kind of discouraging for devotees. We're meant to give association, not take association. But when we see that people are so unreceptive, you just say, like, what's the use? So in that way it's kind of discouraging. But then when you see somebody that is actually interested, that's really a source of inspiration. But I see so many people that, even come here that they're just like cherry pickers. They take what they want and then they reject. And but they're not materially exhausted. And I remember Haridananda Maharaj saying, he says most people just need a whole life of sense gratification. But and we're supposed to understand Maya Deluxe. You've heard the expression Maya Deluxe, the entanglement of Maya, women and money, but or other things too. But some people, they just don't rise to the occasion, no matter what you say. A word to the wise is sufficient, but there's no end to the words needed to convince a fool. So I just thought I'd bring up my discouragement of people I come across. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
I was just thinking about this pastime of Narada instructing Vasudeva. It is just like, as you have mentioned, that Uddhava instructing gopis, or Uddhava instructing Nanda Maharaj about that Krishna is not an ordinary child. Just imagine Uddhava saying to Nanda Maharaj that Krishna is not an ordinary child, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What was Nanda Maharaj's response? He was saying that you may say whatever you want, he is my son. But again, as you have said, that before leaving, Nanda Maharaj said, please bless me so that we can remember Krishna always. So similarly, Nanda and Vasudeva are not, there is not much difference, only the mood of, there is only difference of the mood. But here we see Vasudeva is asking for liberation. That I have been cheated by Vishnu Maya by thinking Krishna to be my son and forgot about my real duty to gain liberation. So, is it Vasudeva is, why Vasudeva will speak in this way? Because the question of liberation is not there in devotee's heart any time. But here Vasudeva is asking about, consider Krishna to be my son and not thought of gaining liberation. I am still not understanding why Vasudeva will ask such kind of favor from Narad Muni.
So as regards to Vasudeva, that is his natural, disposition. See, he was not a bhakta in the, like talking about Vasudeva and Nanda. Nanda is like a Vrajavasi, and Vasudeva was having the realization that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right on his birth also, Now, when he is meeting Narad Muni, again he wants to, you see, sometimes there is some kind of unfulfillment in the heart, which you want to express to someone. Oh, I just kind of wasted my life. Krishna was there, but I just treated him as my own son. So he's out of that despondency. He is asking Narad Muni. There is nothing like he is not having any love for Krishna. There is nothing that he is not having. And as far as liberation is concerned, it is not that he wants to get liberated from all miseries. If that would have been the case, he would not have been there in the prison so many years and getting one child after one child and getting them killed. So he is not wanting to get rid of miseries in his life. That is very clear. So his conception of liberation is again to serve Krishna. Muktir hitvanyata rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. That is what is the concept of liberation. So we can never say that Vasudeva is wanting to get liberated in that sense, because his very birth, his name was Anaka Dumdubhi. When he took birth, there were kettle drums being sounded because he was so pure-hearted. But if we see his life, then his life, many great challenges came in. Again, he was put in prison after Krishna was being called to Mathura. Again, he was put in prison. Before that, 7 years also in prison. But he never complained to Krishna. He never complained anything to Krishna. On the contrary, if you see Gandhari's 100 children were killed and she cursed Krishna. Draupadi's even 5 children were killed. Right? Draupadi's 5 children were killed. But she never complained to Krishna. Even Pandavas, they faced so many difficulties in their life. But they never asked for liberation. See, liberation anyways, our Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Muktim dadhati karshit smana bhakti yogam. Hare Krishna can give liberation very easily. What is the need for Vasudeva to even ask for that? Bhakti he won't give very easily. So his goal in asking for liberation is again to go closer to Krishna. He has no conception of being freed from miseries and just enjoying a peaceful life. Because a devotee means one who takes anxiety for Krishna. Premera Swabhava. So sorry, what is that? Praghada Premera is Swabhava Achar. Nija Dukkha Vidnadira Na Kare Vichar. Madhavendra Puri regarding him, that is spoken. So that is the conception of Praghada Prem, a very strong love, that one does not consider the inconveniences, the difficulties and the impediments and the scarcities in service. One just wants to serve Krishna. And that is what we see from the life of Vasudeva. His entire life was like that. So why will he ask for something like that? Does that make sense, Prabhu? I'm not sure.
Prabhu, what you said is right. I have one more thing to ask, that the statements of the great devotees are sometimes so bewildering. Just like here in the case of Vasudeva, he was saying to Narad Muni that in my previous birth I worshipped Lord Ananta, who can give liberation from material existence, but I asked for a child. So he was in that. If you just read the statement, it appears that asking Lord Ananta to have Krishna as his child is lesser compared to asking Ananta to deliver from material existence. The very statement appears that he is giving more prominence to liberation. Similarly, in the case of Gopikas also, when they, not Gopikas, the queens of Dwarka, they praise that, oh, what kind of austerities, penances, vratas, all these gopis have did, because of which they have received such a close, intimate association. So again it appears that by doing vrata, tapasya and all these things, one can achieve Krishna's association, which is false in one sense. One cannot gain a Krishna association by doing this kind of vrata. So while the devotees praise in this way, or expresses themselves, because it puts a message that this is more important than having Krishna to be with you. So why generally devotees praise like that?
I'll tell my understanding. You can give the clarification.
I am asking you.
No. So what I see is that you see there is sthai bhav of all devotees. If you go to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, there is sthai bhav, and there are vyabhichari bhavas, anubhavas, vibhavas, which are coming in the heart of a devotee. So due to these different emotions, sometimes they may speak something which does not appear to be pure devotion, or they may speak something which is contrary to the principles of pure devotional service. But such statements have not to be taken literally, because they are arising out of pure love. So when like regarding the gopis, regarding the Mathura Vasis, you are asking about the austerities. They are praising the austerities. So basically, they are just curious and wondrous, and they are just so. You see, in a positive way, they are jealous of the gopis. Say, wow, what they have done. We also want that kind of association. In case of Vasudeva, his mind is going in somewhat kind of a turmoil. So he said, I should not have asked for this. I should have asked for liberation. I did some mistake. So it is not his sthai bhav. If his sthai bhav was like that, then he would have lamented every time when each child was born. What is this, Krishna? How long you are taking to take birth? After taking birth also you went there. What is this? You are putting us in great difficulty. So if we see their entire life, their entire life does not symbolize or does not in any way show that they were in a mood of liberation. So just by 1-2 statements we cannot judge their entire life. So those statements have to be taken as vyabhichari bhavas or some kind of transient emotions. If you see Brahmar Geet also, Now Radharani is saying that who is this cheat Krishna? I don't want to associate with him. If you take only that statement, then Radharani does not want to associate with Krishna. But every verse, all different kinds of emotions. And our acharyas are like, Rupa Goswami and Jiva Goswami talk about this different bhavas, Ujjalpa, Parijalpa, Prajalpa, Vijalpa, Sanjalpa. It is so difficult even to comprehend that. What are the emotions of Radharani going on? One verse, she is changing. She's changing. Oh, no one should associate with this Krishna. Oh, this Krishna is a great cheat. And even next verse, she immediately says, oh Krishna, please forgive me. There is one verse in Bhagavatam also, in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, which was, one of the favorite verses of Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. You know Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj? His samadhi is near Prema Sarovar. So this is one of the verses which was written there. हे देव हे दैत हे भुवनैक बंधु हे कृष्ण हे चपल हे करुणैक सिंधु हे नाथ हे रमण हे नयनाभिरामम हा हा कदानुभवितासि पदम दिशोर्मे. So Radharani is saying, hey Deva, oh you are Deva, you are worshipped by everyone else. So what is so great in you? Then immediately the bhava changes. No, you are Daita, you are please merciful to us. Daita he karunaika sindhu, you are an ocean of mercy. Hey Chapala, then again says Chapala, you go away from here. And then Krishna is going away and says, no, please wait. Hey Chapala, hey karunaika sindhu. Says, oh, you are an ocean of mercy, please stay back now. So in that verse, every word, like she is going back and forth in emotions of Krishna. Just one verse. So we have these emotions coming in the heart of advanced devotees every now and then. And that is how the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the rasa, it overflows. So if they have only one emotion, then rasa cannot grow. So it is to enhance the rasa. This is my understanding. You can just Haribol. So we'll stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavad Purana ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol.